All right, fellas, yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski. I've been playing PokeMMO since 2013. I have over 11,000 hours in this beautiful game by this point, and I always love hearing the new player experience, the problems that can be talked about, the problems that can be fixed, all these things. And we have a really good video today from someone who actually has been in my Discord DMs a little bit, and this is from QuizBee TV. Let me actually show this really quick. QuizBee TV. And from what I've seen, I've only seen the first minute or so of this video. From the little I've seen from this guy, from his YouTube shorts to his videos to his streams, I think that genuinely this guy could be one of the biggest up and coming PokeMMO content creators the game has ever seen. I love this guy. I love his charisma. I love his energy. I love the information, the entertainment. I'm really excited. So I don't know what he has to say today in terms of this topic, breaking the new player curse in PokeMMO, but I'm interested. I think understanding the new player's experience and the casual player's experience is really important to keeping an MMO alive. So let's see what he has to say today and see if we can learn from him and hopefully give my input as an 11,000 hour veteran of this beautiful game. Let's jump into it.
I was browsing Twitch when I found a streamer playing a Pokemon Fire Red ROM hack, and I had to ask him, have you played PokeMMO? He told me that he's heard of it, but never tried it because of one specific reason.
Let's see if I can guess it. Is it because of like the fear of installation or the fear of it getting shut down? I see a lot of new players not wanting to play the game because they're in fear of it being shut down.
How difficult it is for new players.
I got it wrong.
There are tons of new player guides out there, but that's not really getting to the heart of the issue. What issues are new players running into? Why are new players playing a region and then dropping the game? How do we make PokeMMO more new player friendly?
I think this is a super under talked about because like from the MMO like grinder perspective, I think the game begins once you finish all the 5 regions, right? But if they're not getting to if they don't even get to the end of all the 5 storylines, the game's not even beginning yet. How are we going to get new players? How are we going to keep, or at least keep new players? PokeMMO also, PokeMMO is a really lucky MMO. Most old MMOs don't get new players. They just slowly dwindle off until they die. Things like old school RuneScape, things like World of Warcraft, things like PokeMMO are the exception to the rule, right? We are lucky because we are attached to an IP that is beloved and constantly thought about and whatever. We constantly get new players, but I think one of the biggest problems that PokeMMO has is new player retention. Not even old player, but new player retention. The game is very vast, very complex, and very unintuitive in a lot of ways. And I'd love to see more systems like quests or achievement lists or goals to push players to want to do something after completing just a typical storyline run.
Hi, my name is QuizBee, and yes, I am a new player. I started playing in November of 2020.
Also, I know if you don't like pausing, I'm sorry, go watch the original video, just watch it out in pure. I love pausing and adding context and hopefully transforming reactionary content. But at the very least, if we're using this guy's video for content, very least you can do, go like his video, consider subscribing, leave a positive comment if you enjoyed today's video, but definitely go support the original creator where his video will be linked first thing in the description. I love react content, but I do have a bar when it comes to how transformative I make that content by adding my own reaction.
2025, and I fell in love with the game ever since, which is why this issue is so important.
So even that little
2025, and I fell in love.
Even this little bit, right? Is this still considered a new player? The fucked up thing is yes. It's MMOs are so weird and Turbo Online, especially PokeMMO, the grinds are so long. 415 hours. It is that weird thing of is that a new player? Is that a medium tier player? Where is that? It is, I think it is somewhere around that new player to medium level player bar, depending on how much progress you have done. We can see his Pokedex is not complete, but I think Pokedex completion is probably a sign that you're reaching endgame, to be fair. He's been playing since, was that November 2025? November 25th. So he's been playing for about 3 months or so. I think this is pretty new, but would you call it a newer player? I don't even, it's in that line. It's in that that borderline 2 or whatever of in between new player and intermediate level player.
Love with the game ever since, which is why this issue is so important to me. I love this game. I want other people to love this game.
Why don't you love this game?
And before you run to the comments and say, PokeMMO isn't even that hard. I beat all the regions with a Stunfisk.
This is one of the things that keeps new players away from PokeMMO, is by players saying, oh, the raids aren't hard, or blah, blah, blah isn't hard, blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. It's actually really, really easy. No, everything is really hard when you first do it. I think often people forget about the new player's experience. They often forget what it was like for them when they first started playing, or if they have a lot of knowledge or whatever prior, then it's fine. But you cannot dismiss the new player frustrations or experience.
GG's, good for you. But there are new players every day dropping PokeMMO because of this.
I really
so I
like
set
this
out
point.
to find out why and how we can fix it. Throughout my time playing PokeMMO, I've constantly heard that all of the battles are harder. Every gym leader, every Elite Four, every champion, significantly stronger than their mainline counterparts. But how beefy did they really make them? Here's a forum post I found where admin Rach briefly talks about the difficulty of the game.
The gyms have been rebalanced quite heavily. Sometimes they've been made a bit easier, but usually they'll be harder. Most
I don't know if there's a gym that I've seen that's made easier. I could be wrong. So I think about like Blaine. Blaine is, I think, in the traditional Pokemon like Fire Red or whatever, one of the easiest gym leaders in the entire game. In PokeMMO, I think Blaine might single-handedly be the most difficult gym leader out of all the regions. It's obviously hard to make that claim, but he's a fire type gym leader. Usually you would very easily counter that with water types or ground types. Every single one of his Pokemon has access to Sunny Day plus solar beam setting, wild charge. His like Arcanine has wild charge and solar. Almost all of his fire type mons have both electric and grass coverage for any of your water types or ground types you want to switch into him to EQ or surf. So, and they're very fast and strong. So like usually to beat Blaine, I use a Kingdra, which is like water type and dragon type. So best case scenario, they're hitting me for like neutral damage, but like how would a new player remember or like know to do that?
Mostly due to more varied movesets that you'll have to play around. A type
Obviously like there's basic stuff in Pokemon you can learn. Oh yeah, just use the blah blah blah. But like it's PokeMMO is very very specific. And yeah, he does like obviously just use type advantage, but it's more complicated than that.
advantage might not be enough to guarantee a win. The AI actually tries to win too, so you're in for a challenge.
I actually wanted to see the rebalancing Rach was referring to, and it turns out that in most regions, the first and second gym leader's highest level Pokemon is the same level or lower than their mainline counterparts. But around gyms 3 and 4, they suddenly become significantly stronger. Take Lieutenant Surge's Raichu for example. In the mainline games, it's level 24. In PokeMMO, it gains 3 levels, has a better moveset, and better AI. Now, the difficulty curve around gyms 3 and 4 isn't what I'm criticizing. I'm sure the devs have.
I do believe, I could be wrong, I think for the Elite Four as well, you also see that there's with like I think all the trainer Pokemon and PokeMMO also might be perfect IVs. They're either like perfect IVs, or I think in the Elite Four might have, maybe it's just the Elite Four. There are certain trainers that have like really high or perfect IV Pokemon, as well as you'll see some like EV trained mons, I believe, in like the Elite Four. I could be wrong, but
a valid explanation for why they balance the game this way. But the point I'm trying to get across is how jarring that could be for a new player. Suddenly I'm sweeping these first 2 gyms, and then gyms 3 and 4 roll around and I can't do anything. Another complaint I hear—
never thought about that. That's why this video is so important, that comparison between the start versus the middle.
New players is the lack of in-game tutorials.
Yep.
Once you create your character and pick your starting region, you're pretty much thrown into the world with no one holding your hand.
End game tutorial, specifically like once you complete a storyline, I really wish PokeMMO like introduced shiny. I wish PokeMMO doesn't even say the shiny rate. I don't think like anywhere in the, does it say in the FAQ anymore? Like PokeMMO doesn't even say its shiny rates anywhere in the game. If you are new to PokeMMO, you don't even know. You might just assume it's 1 in 8,000 encounters or whatever, right? Yeah, once you beat the first Elite Four, but you wouldn't know that, right? Like you wouldn't have the encounter counter until you beat your first Elite Four. You wouldn't have that, right? There's a lot of stuff like that that's important to know when you start the game. That's not there.
Which would be okay if—
and also the encounter counter didn't exist until 3 months ago. So like once again, like I appreciate the like counter. I know you guys in chat love PokeMMO and I love it too, but we've got to be able to critique and like talk about how we can improve the game for the new player experience. I think it is, the new player experience is the most important when it comes to MMOs, and it's the most important to growing a game and keeping a game alive.
PokeMMO was like any other Pokemon game, but it's not. There are mechanics in the mainline game that work completely different in PokeMMO. Let's take breeding for example. In the mainline games, it's as simple as having a picnic with 2 breedable Pokemon and boom, you get an egg in a basket. In PokeMMO, there are incubators, it's not steps based, and the 2 Pokemon you breed get consumed?
Breeding in PokeMMO is probably the biggest, like the hardest thing to learn. It's probably literally the most complex skill crept. Like breeding is so difficult in PokeMMO to learn. It's really easy once you learn it, but even then, the layering of like finding good deals on the market and like whether you should prioritize nature or IVs first. Breeding is probably one of the most and it's so important. Also, breeding is one of the most integral systems to the game and is what usually keeps the marketplace and the economy in check by syncing good IV Pokemon out of the game, as well as allowing everybody to have access to like 31 speed Pokemon for PvP and having more consistency with that. The breeding system is one of the most genius systems in the game, but it's also incredibly difficult for new players to learn. I remember when they changed the breeding system to what it is now back in like 2014, I like refused to learn it for like years and years and years, and I hurt my own progress because of that.
How was I supposed to find any of this out? Now, would I rather the devs spend their time making in-game tutorials and guides for new player accessibility? No. I think that a part of the charm of PokeMMO is the difficulty. That may sound contradictory to my whole point, but it's not.
Less so the difficulty. Well, the shiny hunting system, I think the difficulty is the appeal. More so even, I do think there is an element of like sandbox games. Pokemon's kind of a sandbox game. I compare it to like Minecraft, where like no one tells you to chop wood. You have to like run around and like smash your hand into trees and like try to learn. So there's a lot of things like that come into play. And I guess the question is, do we want Pokemon to be a sandbox game, and how much of a sandbox game do we want it to be? I don't really want things that hold the player's hand and just teach them everything, but my biggest thing has been achievement diary, or like similar to like old school RuneScape. I think some sort of achievement log being presented to you once you complete your first region, similar to the encounter counter, how that introduces shiny hunting. I think the achievement log would be a fantastic way to introduce players of what should I do next. The most important question Pokemon players ask is, what do I do next? What do I do after completing my first, second, third, fourth, or even fifth storyline? What is the endgame? What does it look like?
Not. Pokemon players for years have been asking for difficulties in the mainline
There's
games.
the Minecraft comparison.
So if it's not the difficulty that's the issue, what is the issue? Is it just a lack of game knowledge? So
I like that. I do like that counter argument where like Pokemon players beg for the Pokemon games to be more difficult, and then PokeMMO does it, and people still, you're always gonna have people complain, I guess, right? It's a good point.
More PokeMMO content? Well, yes and no. More content is always good for the game, but there's already years worth of tips,
I
tricks,
agree.
Tutorials, guides.
I think the game has so much content. People talk about the game needing more content. I don't think it needs more content. We need more direction. Just like a slight, not guiding, but like a slight push. Oh, whoops.
Patrouski, for example, has
Yuck, hate
years
that guy.
worth of backlog guides specifically for new players. So is it the community's
True, though.
responsibility to help new players?
Yes and no.
Absolutely not. But
A little bit,
there
yes
are
and no.
players like Obi-Wan Jabroni. I met Obi when I first started streaming the game, and
Aw,
once he found
so
out
be a
I was a
wholesome
new
story?
player, he hooked me up with some crazy good Pokemon and items to get me started. Turns out, Obi's kind of known in the community for hanging out in starting towns and helping out new players.
Aw.
And Obi isn't the only
that's-
one. There are tons of
That's such an MMO. Like you can only really get that in MMOs. What a true, beautiful MMO experience.
Obi-Wan Jabronis out there helping new players daily. So if it's not content, and it's not the community, what's the solution? Next, I want to talk to a new player and actually hear about their struggles and how they overcame them.
Alright, let's start by just introducing yourself and explaining your general Pokemon experience before playing PokeMMO.
Alright, so my name is Yarmanes.
Personal interviews. Okay,
My
amazing
first time
name.
Playing PokeMMO, or like any MMO for that matter. My only experience that I had with
That's another, okay. A rare problem that PokeMMO has is that Pokemon fans come to our game who don't have MMO experience. And it's not that that's amazing. It's an honor for PokeMMO to be so many people's first MMOs, but PokeMMO is an MMO first, in my opinion, and Pokemon game second. The game is incredibly grindy, incredibly endurance based, incredibly long term, and the amount of Pokemon fans that I see who only play ROM hacks on 10 times speed, not to slight those players, but if you play ROM hacks on 10 times speed and hack in rare candies and then come to play PokeMMO, your brain is going to like explode at the difference of that pacing, right? There is a big, I agree, there is a big old school RuneScape to PokeMMO pipeline. That is true. But I think a lot of people, it's almost like, I made a video at one point saying that like PokeMMO almost baits new players into thinking something is different, kind of, where like PokeMMO is not a Pokemon game, it's an MMO, and you have to know that. A lot of Pokemon fans come to PokeMMO expecting a Pokemon experience, get an MMO experience, and they're like, oh shit, this isn't really what I wanted, whoopsie. I want something more casual, more chill, whatever. And that's, I think we see that. That's also part of why we see a lot of our new players not stick around, unfortunately. Although I would love to do whatever we can to keep them around, right?
Pokemon before this was like collecting cards, and I played a few of the more like the newer Pokemon games. Like I played the Eevee, so I played Kanto. Having that experience drew me to PokeMMO, and made me want to play it and see what it was like. And hearing that it was all the games in one really made me drew me to this game. So yeah.
And what were the issues that you ran into when you first started out?
I had nothing. I didn't know which region to start in. I think I needed stuff. I needed literally anything to get through. I needed yen. I needed items. I couldn't do anything because I didn't have anything. I didn't understand how a lot of the systems work. So I didn't really have an understanding of what there was to do to be
Like that he
able
mentioned
to
the
make money
systems.
starting out. The number one thing I would have needed when starting out would have been somebody to help, I guess, basically hold
Answer
my
questions.
hand through the game, because I didn't really understand what to do. And it wasn't until I made friends like Beast Balthazar or you were playing. I mean, they're more seasoned players.
This guy is really nice.
to
I've seen his
help me
streams.
figure out what it is that there is to figure out in this game, because there's literally a million different things you can do.
And what's one thing that you want new players to know?
I would say the number one thing I would want new players to know is that A, it's okay to ask questions, and B, it's okay to ask for help. But I would say
Aw, that's
the
so
number one
sweet.
thing you want to keep in mind when starting out is to just keep going. It's going to feel like a grind at first, but that's what a lot of this game is, just grinding to get to your next goal.
Hell yeah, Mr. Yermany. Well, thank you so much for the interview.
PokeMMO is a game about endurance. It is a game about like, and that's not what everybody wants. That's why there's also another side of this argument of like, I love this game, and I obviously want people to love it too, but like there is a really good, like this game is not for everybody. MMOs aren't for everybody. There's a reason why, like, dude, if you come home from work, you work your 9-to-5 job, you come home, you cook dinner, you put the kids down for bed, you have 2 hours to game before you have to go to sleep for work in the morning, like you might not want to sit down and load up a spreadsheet or like a notepad document like of your goals and like what you want to do with, like you might want to load up some Fortnite, and there's nothing wrong. Like Pokemon's just not for everybody, and that's also okay. I think it's a really important thing to encourage. Although I do also, to counter that, I think in an era of short form content, which I don't think short form content is inherently bad by any means. TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, I love it all. I love it too. I get it. But I think in a world of short form content, we need long form content to balance us out. And I think PokeMMO is a really good option for people to play PokeMMO, yes, and then also play your like friend slop games, which I love, Golf Battle, Mega Bonk, whatever your other like, games on the side. I love Mega Bonk, like I love these games. Like it's not like a derogatory thing towards them, but having a long-term game that you play, and then also quick little games on the sides, golf with your friends, yada yada yada. Having that mix is really important, and then vice versa with like for content. Like I always recommend people, like I think it's a really good time to watch movies. Hilariously, like with all the short form content, scroll TikTok for an hour a day, sure. Make sure to also watch a movie a movie as well, and like have that balancing of short form and long form content. I think would help us all out a lot more.
And good luck
I
with
try
your
to aim
runs.
for.
Of course, of course.
After talking to Yermany, it became clear to me how to get new players to stay. How you can break the new player curse. Treat PokeMMO like an MMO. I know, it's
I'm just saying that's what I've been. Couldn't agree more.
so obvious and
Also, I fucking love his like overcoat or like his sweater.
it's so redundant, but it's the truth.
It's either knitted or crocheted. I think it's crocheted, right? I knit. I don't know how to crochet. Crocheting pisses me off. I do like knitting.
I think us new players can easily get caught in a gameplay loop of the mainline games and completely ignore things like the GTL, joining a team, or hanging out in global chat. Actually,
If you want to quit PokeMMO and you're not even in a team, to me it's like, please, joining it. Teams are so good. Teams and being social. It's an MMO. It's social. Like, dude, being social is so important, and being in a team. If you want to quit, you've never even been in a team or joined a team. In my opinion, it's like, what are you doing? Like, try that first. Like, meet friends, meet players. Like the social element, being involved in others' journeys. It's one of the most motivating, beautiful, wholesome. Like, truly, the real PokeMMO is the friends we made along the way. But like, unironically.
scratch that last
Let's be
one.
hyped
Global
up.
chat can be a scary place sometimes.
That is true.
It's
Stay
only
away
useful
from global
for catch events.
For literally every MMO to ever, I had this problem, bro. I used to beef with people. I would get so mad in WoW Classic global chat. I would like fight with people and debate with people. Don't learn from my mistake. Do not do that shit. It's a waste of your time. Like, holy, avoid global chat in any MMO of all time ever. True.
Oh, and alphas. Oh, and swarms.
And
Oh, and event
Phenos,
season.
Yep.
Trading.
catch events,
Raids.
daily
flexing your
PvP
shinies.
events.
Okay, maybe global chat is useful. My point is, new players need to do a
Fuck-faced.
couple of things. Number one, set some long-term goals for yourself. Maybe you want to complete the Pokedex, or get a shiny char.
I'm a big fan. PokeMMO is all it's similar to Minecraft. I know I'm gonna do but it's true. How many people beat the Ender Dragon in Minecraft and then quit the game? Which is not like a bad, to be fair, it's not a bad thing. But I find a lot of PokeMMO players beat all the storylines and they don't quit because they want to quit. They quit because they don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that happens with Minecraft as well. Minecraft players, when your 2-week Minecraft phase ends, like I know so many of you experience, you're sad. It's not like, oh, I want to move on. Like, I want to keep playing. I want to find it interesting. But how do I do it? Right? And having a notepad document, a list of goals is so important, right? Having a list of, like in Minecraft, I do build a marble tower here, or dig a giant hole, dig a 1 million block hole, do a giant underground city, do a sky dome, do glass, blah, blah, like. And then in PokeMMO, it's the same thing, right? In PokeMMO, it's get this shiny, complete that Pokedex, open a forums shop, do 10 catch events. Like, if you watch my Iron Man series, so much of my Iron Man series is goal-oriented and shows the process of setting and working towards and then eventually achieving those goals. Setting goals is so important. And I know it's extra work. I get it. But setting goals is so important in PokeMMO.
Charizard. It's those long-term goals that are going to keep you coming back to the game day after day. Number 2, find your playstyle. Maybe you just want to farm some Leppas and make a ton of money on the GTL. Maybe you're big into PvP, or maybe you're into shiny hunting. You gotta find your playstyle and find your daily gameplay loop. And finally, number 3,
This video is so
integrate
high
with the
quality.
community. Whether it's joining a team, yapping in Discord, or hanging out in Twitch chat,
Yap in a
there's
stream.
so much you can
Stream
learn from
yourself.
other
Make your own
players.
videos.
Which is why I personally wanted to do my part helping out new players. So I teamed up with some PokeMMO vets to create the Partner Project. If you're a new player that feels lost in the game, or
Wait, I don't know anything about this, but I'm
maybe
excited.
you're just stuck at a certain part of the story, you can apply in our Discord to be paired up with a PokeMMO expert who you can ask questions to personally. Or if you're a veteran that loves helping out new players, I'd love for you to apply to be a mentor. A lot of new players are just afraid of asking questions. They're afraid of being judged. So I wanted to make a community that welcomes these new.
That's so sad. I'll apologize, dude. I've said before, as a streamer, sometimes I get asked the same question 100 times, and it's by 100 different people. Those people don't see the other 99, but I see all 100. I'll be honest, I'll be the first to say, sometimes I'm not always the nicest to new players, and every time I do that, I'm sad and I'm bummed, and I wish I handled the situation differently. I am a human at the end of the day. It's one of those things, but like, I always want to do better, and I apologize to anyone who's ever felt slighted as a new player by me. That sucks. That's not something I stand for. I want to do. I always want to get better at that. I do recommend that. I do also encourage Googling questions. Not to like, I have a rule in my chat. I please ask that you Google questions before you ask in stream. But after you've Googled, you can ask me any question. As long as you've Googled it first, you can ask me any question, and I will do whatever I can. I will, you know, fight to the end of the earth to hopefully help you get that answer from someone, either from me or my chat. I'll run into a lot of people who won't Google their questions first, and I do have to, like, it's kind of like, imagine an author writes books on finance for 20 years, and then at every single convention he goes to, people ask him, hey, how do I make money? And it's like, I love you, I really do, but I've written books on this for 20 years. Please like, help yourself. Please read the books, you know, like. And then if you have any questions, like, it's just feel free to, you know, ask whatever. As long as you do a quick Google search, or if you can't find it, I will help answer any question about PokeMMO, even not about PokeMMO. I'll do whatever I can, but I do politely ask you Google it first, and I'm sorry if that's standoffish. That's my one little rule.
Players with open arms. You can find more information about the Partner Project.
This is beautiful. Some people want that human element and that personal communication and that flexibility. So this is beautiful, man.
In the description below. Look, I truly believe that community is the driving force behind this game. So if you want to get the most out of your PokeMMO experience, join a team, make some new friends. Yes, this is a Pokemon fan game, but it's more than that.
It's an MMO.
I know I'm not the only one who dreamed of a game like this as a kid, and its existence is proof of that. PokeMMO is a social sandbox. It's a celebration.
Yes, I've been saying this for years. It's so sick to see people, like, naturally. One of the most glorifying feelings is seeing others come naturally to the same conclusion that you've come to. It is so satisfying. Yes.
Of this franchise that has given us so much joy over the years.
Those old Pokemon games taught us lessons of friendship, hope, and fighting for what you believe. And maybe, just maybe, PokeMMO has some lessons to teach us today.
Dude, it really does. It's so similar. I think games like open-ended sandbox, long-term grindy games like old school RuneScape, Minecraft, RuneScape, unironically can be like a mental tool. I know it's kind of edgy to say about a video game, but I think it's actually like a beautiful, like meditative experience depending on how you treat it. Like it's a really beautiful.
If you made it this
Sometimes it takes being able to set a goal and achieving it to help build confidence and build yourself as a person. I know that for me with RuneScape, that was a big deal. Being able to set the goal of I want to get 99 mining, and thinking when I set that goal, thinking there's no way I can do that. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I'm not strong enough, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually achieving it and being like, oh, fuck. Maybe I am capable of things. It's like an amazing feeling, whether that's an IRL, going to the gym, setting a diet, whether it's an IRL thing or a video game. I think games like this can be used as a beautiful tool to build yourself up as a person.
far, I'm either tabbed on your second monitor while you shunt, or you enjoyed the video. And if that's the case, drop a like and subscribe.
Like it, subscribe.
All the things. My Twitch is linked in the description below, so come check me out there. Just a few people I have to give shout outs to.
Crispy's fantastic, man.
Their content helped me as a new player.
I'm gonna mute all those plays in the background, but please, dude, please go check it out. His video will be linked in the description. This guy is amazing. I'm really excited for his content. He's just getting started, and I feel like he is legitimately going to go so far, and also go so far at the benefit of the community. He's going to go so far. He's going to add so much positivity and so much help and so much beauty. I love this guy's vibe. I love everything Quizby. I don't know. I'm just excited. It's always beautiful to see up and coming content creators, and it's really beautiful to see them with this kind of direction. I am just really, really excited for you, Quizby. Check out his stuff. It'll be linked in the description. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little reaction and seeing this veteran's thoughts on a new player's kind of, not even a new player, but just like, he's at that perfect spot when you're at that, like, he's just past being a new player. So he still can, veteran players and endgame players like myself have a hard time inherently relating to the new player experience. It's just been so long since we've experienced that. And when you're at that point of you're just past the new player experience, that's the perfect time while it's still fresh in your head to comment on it and talk about it. I love, 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 love. And I will always ask new players, make videos like this. These videos help us cringy, crusty old boomers keep that perspective and not lose touch. So I thank you greatly for that. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see daily Pokemon videos. I do upload videos every single day every single day for this game that I still love very, very, very much. Follow me on Twitch like this for live streams live. Usually Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET, but I also stream a fair bit extra if I'm feeling up to it. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. If you want to go above and beyond and support my content, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal and Venmo do help out a lot. Go check out Quizby. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. But for now, peace, Reno.